like a dog in the street.
Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
We got our guy Darren Doogie Wolfson in the house. We got the birthday boy, the sports dad, Dex in the old AM side studio, fending off the old mixing board. I'm Phil.
There you go.
Let's talk some Vikings here.
Happy Reckless Speculation Thursday. Judley, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You are a mensch. You're incomparable. You're fiercely loyal. You are the man. I hope everybody celebrates you all day long.
Yeah.
I appreciate all that. Thank you. I'll make sure to tell the family. Celebrate me all day long.
Tell Barney to lay off a little bit, okay?
He's right here. He's right here.
So, boys, we're going to get into, man, what an interesting day for the injury list that came out yesterday. And JJ McCarthy with the hand injury. So we're going to get into how bad is it? What were some of the things that JJ was doing yesterday? But shout out to Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best in-state employers for 2025 and by Newsweek as one of America's most admired workplaces for 2026. And that's just a little snippet of the great work culture that's been developed over 100 years at Federated. And you can find out more if you're interested. Maybe you're looking to pivot your career or start your career. They hire special driven people who fit their culture, a lot of former college athletes. If these things describe you, go to federatedinsurance.com/careers. That's federatedinsurance.com/careers. So, quote from JJ McCarthy yesterday, who's listed as limited with a right hand injury, that it was in like the late part of the third quarter. I think it was the throw that kind of rattled around at the goal line, Justin Jefferson, and his hand slammed on a helmet. And he said, if you get your hand slammed in a car door, which is how he described the feeling, your hand is going to feel different for everything you do with that hand. There's no excuses whatsoever at the end of the day. We're warriors and we got to push through. But he did have a 40% inaccurate throw rate in the fourth quarter of the game. Maybe that helps explain it. But this is just another thing to work through as the Bears come to town this Sunday here, Dukes.
Well, and it seemingly is always something, right? Like the fourth quarter of the Atlanta game. Well, it's because he injured his ankle earlier, right? In the third quarter. Yeah, it was late third quarter. The throw that actually I think Justin Jefferson probably needs to make that catch. Imagine how we think of JJ McCarthy if Jefferson possesses that ball at the goal line, ends up hitting his throwing hand on Donovan Jackson's helmet. So it's legit. You can see it. You can absolutely see what took place. So it's a legit injury. But I'm starting to wonder, forget the footwork, forget the inaccuracy, forget the mechanics. The biggest concern right now for me is, can JJ McCarthy stay healthy? Can he sustain a run of gaining experience? I hope so. I remain incredibly bullish on the young man. He's only 22 years old. Let's not forget that. But he needs to stay on the field. Now, I have no doubt about his availability for the Bears game Sunday, but it was interesting. He's standing there at the podium, hands in his pocket, right? So you couldn't see anything, had the bandage on his right hand during practice. He's throwing the portion that was open for reporters, making some throws with his left hand. He was also smiling. Ryan Kelly greeted him. There was a big, sort of man hug that took place and greeting, right? So JJ was smiling at different points during the open portion of practice on Wednesday. But bottom line, I am concerned about the young man's ability to stay healthy when we're talking knee into ankle, now the hand.
You know who's not smiling? Me. And here's why.
You
I'm
should
with
be.
you. I'm
The
with you.
birthday man?
I don't
Smile
care.
away.
This isn't about birthdays. This is about your quarterback and can he play. And I'm with you completely. I don't care what the injuries are. It's that they mount. And look, I mean, when you hit your hand on a helmet, which happens, I know, there can be a lot of different results. So here's my question for Sunday. Does he finish the game? And how much do they have to potentially adjust? And in some ways, it might be even positive. How much do they have to adjust how much they throw? Because I can safely tell you that if what he's describing is the case, the hand's not going to feel great on Sunday. It might be better, but it's not going to feel fantastic. So I'm very curious to see the bearing that this has. But I would just love like a month of JJ McCarthy. He's going to be dinged up. He's quarterback. But just a month where there's not something that's going to get in the way of his ability to play. And I'm sorry, but your throwing hand being hurt is going to get in the way of your ability to play. So this is my biggest, and I think we all agree on this show, our biggest concern is not can he play, is he a bust, but can he play at as close to 100% as possible just to get a read on what he's going to be and what he can learn right now.
All right, well, maybe it does play into the game plan then. The Bears give up all sorts of chunks of yards on the road. Phil, you may have the stats directly in front of you, but are the Bears the worst defense on the road this year in terms of yards given up per
I think
play?
I don't have the road home splits, but they've been one of the worst, like one of the 3 worst yards per play defenses overall in the league this season.
Okay, well, and I'm pretty sure number 1 on the road, allowing 7 yards per play. Like, okay, establish some level of physicality. Maybe the Detroit game was a mirage, but can you somehow channel some of what we saw 2 Sundays ago? Have that transfer to Sunday, dominate the line of scrimmage, run the ball a little bit, set up some third and manageables. The Vikings are what, 31st in the NFL in third down conversion rate? Well, instead of these 3rd and 6s, 3rd and 7s, can we create some 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s? Now,
Don't get me started.
AOC might still
Do
dial up
not
a
get
run.
me started on that.
Excuse me, a pass, not a run, but, you know, like, let's ease things up. Let's sustain some drives. Let's not exactly, and I get it, the Bears are still down. Gordon and Johnson, cornerback-wise, probably their 2 best corners. I get it, but let's not go for all these home runs on Sunday. Let's call a safe game. Let's find a way to grind out a 24-21 type win. I hope that's what we see on Sunday.
I mean, yeah, let's come back to that in a second here, just to put a bow on the McCarthy thing. He also was, I think he was doing this to maybe just like screw with the media, but Kevin Seifert had a video of him throwing passes left-handed during the, 10 minutes. So
yeah, we had it too. Yeah, I mean, I think that was playing with us and
He's
having fun, and he was smiling. Yeah, I mean, he can make throws. He was doing some stuff later on while we still had access, right? Mimicking some throws and taking handoffs and all that, but still noteworthy that there was a bandage on that right hand.
I think it is interesting though, and I do agree with the the distinction that they waited maybe a couple weeks longer than they really need, because he was cleared by doctors and still put in as a backup quarterback on the depth chart for a couple weeks in that gray area before they started him back up again as the starter and put Carson Wentz out to pasture. And the reasoning was, we don't want to put him in a spot to set him up to fail where he can't, at least operate the base level things with the ankle. And I wonder, and I agree, by the way, hey, we started it back up. You waited a couple weeks extra. That's fine. Now that you've started the 10-game clock again, he's going to have to play through some dings. But are we also kind of right back to, well, with that hand injury, he probably can't really do all the things that you would ask of him to do. And now we're kind of right back into that. But at some point, you're going to have to operate at less than 100% on a regular basis if you're a quarterback in the NFL, on top of trying to process everything in just your 5th start. So throw him into the fire again, but take a little off his plate. 48 called pass plays seems unnecessary this week, like they did last week against the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly unnecessary. How about the quarterback on the other sideline, Caleb Williams? How many sacks did he take last year? I'm sure at different points he was feeling some aches and pains. 68 times he was sacked last year. Now this year, not being sacked at all for myriad reasons. Certainly their offensive line is markedly better, but him getting out of the pocket, making plays on the run, right? But I'm sure at different points, right? Well, Caleb Williams is durable. He plays. He doesn't miss games. That's why, I heard on a national radio show, Colin Cowherd making the point that for the next 4, 5, 6 years, he would take Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels. And the knock on Jaden coming out of LSU was, hey, like rail thin, like he is going to inevitably get hurt. Well, here we are, year 2. I still think I would take Jaden Daniels for the next 5 years over Caleb Williams. But Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson, okay, you can start selling me on, the Bears having a relatively bright future. Can't see them making any sort of deep January run this year, but I like the direction they're heading. But yeah, on JJ Judd, yes, he's going to take some hits. He is. This offensive line hasn't been as good as we thought it would be. Will Fries, how good has Brian O'Neill truly been this year? He's had some moments of brilliance, but overall, I think we thought more from this offensive line. And so, yeah, it's going to happen. He runs. He's going to take hits. He's going to have to learn to play through these aches and pains.
I think the most important thing this week that we will see on where do things stand with McCarthy. Does he get an injury designation? Obviously, a questionable or likely to play if he's not on the report. But the other one to me is probably Saturday afternoon, right? Because that's when you make your promotions from the practice squad, or at some point this week. John Wolford, to be the third quarterback on Sunday, though, needs to be put on the 53-man. So he can't. Part of this rule is you cannot just promote a guy from a practice squad and then send him back down, which you can for every other position. So I think if John Wolford is promoted to the 53, that's going to tell us a lot, because right now the Vikings would be going into the game with JJ starting with a bad hand, Max Brosmer as the backup, and no emergency QB. So keep your eye on that. If they put him on the 53, Wolford, I think it's going to tell us that they aren't completely positive that McCarthy can start, but they're not completely positive he can finish the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Astute observation. I mean, I just want to see JJ go through a normal Sunday to Sunday week.
Amen.
Right? It's another setback now, right?
Amen.
Even when you're limited in practice. Right? That's all I'm looking for. Some sort of sustained stretch of a normal Sunday to Sunday game routine. So even with the expectation he's playing on Sunday against the Bears, that Sunday to Sunday routine this week has been disrupted.
Yep.
I'm not asking for much. I'm really not. So can we just have some sort of run here for the rest of the regular season where we're not talking about some sort of injury?
Yeah. Yep, it is maddening, and we're almost 2 years in, and it's been the only consistent with him is injuries. Let's move over to a different player on the injury report here, Ryan Kelly. So he has been at least the 21-day practice window has opened up for him to come off injured reserve. He's back in a limited capacity, trying to come back from concussions. He's had a handful of concussions in his football life now. So what do you make of that? He clearly has conferred with family and team and agent and whatever, and he's not retiring, at least as of right now. I thought that might be in play, not reporting it, but I thought, my God, you're in your early 30s now, concussions. So do you think Ryan Kelly's going to wind up, not this weekend necessarily, but starting at center again for the Vikings this year?
Yes, it is going to happen, Phil. Now, hey, I was right there with you. If you go back to last year, or maybe it was 2023, but sometime in the last 12 to 24 months, the words he spewed to Indianapolis Colts media after his third documented NFL concussion, him going on the record saying he needs to have some deep conversations, really needs to think about his future. So then against, who was it? Atlanta week 2, fourth concussion, documented NFL concussion, misses the Cincinnati game, comes back, Pittsburgh game overseas, suffers yet another concussion. He has missed, 6 games, 5 consecutive games, 5 documented NFL concussions. That doesn't take into account anything that took place at Alabama or before his professional career. But yes, it is trending that direction. Now for Sunday, no, I mean, just from a physical standpoint, all of that, just getting back into football shape, not quite now, but yeah, I mean, it may be. If it's not the Packers game, then probably the Seahawks game. Yeah, it is trending that direction that Ryan Kelly with the Guardian cap and a new helmet is going to return. And I hope for his well-being.
Yep.
Forget about any sort of Vikings on-field success. Just from a human standpoint, for his well-being, being a husband, being a father, all that, right? For the next 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 years of his life, that he's not making a mistake. And hey, there are a lot of smart people that have told him, hey, you're good to go. So he is trusting those people. I just hope deep down those people who are paid to do this at a high level, I just hope they are correct, giving him the green light to return to game action.
And the concern now, too, though, just long term is it too late? Like this, CTE and all that stuff is so scary. And I'm sure he's clearing up or cleared up now. But like, when the dude's my age, 56, I mean, I'm still spry. I'm still as sharp as I've ever been. Not really, but I'm just kidding. But like, will he be? And so that's the scary thing. Now, the Vikings injury report was actually fairly extensive, but the interesting thing, Dukes, is the only guy that didn't practice was Jonathan Grenard, who the last time I saw him was walking off the field on Sunday with his shoulder like dragging, like it was bad. It looked bad. He didn't practice. I'm guessing he does not play on Sunday, but do you have a projection or thoughts on when he might return?
Yeah, I mean, short term. Yeah, I mean, I'll note again, as I did on Tuesday, I mean, being right next to him in the locker room post-game on Sunday, able to put on his T-shirt, okay. He was supposed to be at a charity event, was listed as a participant in a charity event in Maplewood on Tuesday. He was not there based on the video that we had here in our TV newsroom.
Sure. Presumably
undergoing treatment around the clock, like knowing JG, he would have been there if he could have been, but hey, you have a pretty serious injury. Tuesday was a treatment day. Yeah, doesn't practice on Wednesday, so it's not trending in the direction of him coming back on Sunday. He has not missed a game in a Vikings uniform. Trust me, that's a big deal to him, right? Sure. We talk about, hey, staying healthy, being available, being durable, right? Well, he's yet to miss a game as a Viking. But yeah, right now, later today will be the telltale sign. But yeah, him missing one game wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think it'll be much beyond that, just based on how much treatment he's undergoing and just the way he felt immediately after Sunday's game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, more potential injury-related things, and then Asante Samuel Jr. Finally made a decision. We can get to some of that here with Doogie. But Doogs, you're down a nice chunk of weight here thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss.
Approaching 25 pounds, Phil. Hey, it's a great week to take care of your yard, right? Leaves galore. Well, I've got sustained energy to at least do the backyard. Maybe, hire out for the front yard, okay? But, hey, I've got the energy to take care of the backyard. I have all sorts of energy thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. The website is awaken180weightloss.com. The program is easy. I'm not hungry all the time because, get this, I am eating. Yes, a program you can eat on. No low-calorie restrictions, no medications, no suppressing hunger. I'm literally eating to lose weight. The bonus is my coach, Patrick, everybody gets a coach. He lays out my daily plan. It's a very easy plan to follow. There's no thinking. Trust me, you don't want me to think, right? What do I need to eat now? What do I need to drink? Can I have this? Can I have that? He lays out what exactly I need to do on a daily basis. It is perfect. Awaken 180 has been doing this for over 10 years, all sorts of success stories. Trust me, if they can get me to lose close to 25 pounds, they know what the heck they are doing. Schedule your free consultation. Free consultation. You have nothing to lose outside of hopefully a bunch of pounds. Awaken180weightloss.com is the website. Awaken180weightloss.com, or you can call them 1-844-346-1800. 1-844-346-1800. Awaken 180 weight loss.
I kind of thought Asante Samuel Jr. might tie it all together with the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line and sign with the Vikings, but he did wind up. He actually cut his little day-by-day free agency tour short, I think, maybe by a day. But he signed with the Steelers and joins a team that's fighting for their lives to win that division. So I guess if he was choosing the best path to the playoffs, if it's Steelers or Vikings, maybe there's some other teams in the mix too. Steelers do have a mathematically better chance to win their division. I thought that might be a fun option for the Vikings, though, to add some depth to their cornerback room. They did play Fabian Moreau 16 snaps as the third cornerback, but they mostly just haven't played a third cornerback much at all this season, Dukes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Dwight McGloth Jr. would have a real chance to elevate, but yeah, they added Fabian Moreau to the 53-man roster. And so, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to play three cornerbacks very often, but when they do, at least for the last couple of weeks, it's been Fabian Moreau, not Dwight McGloth Jr. The Vikings certainly had interest in adding Asante Samuel Jr. Just not a surprise. Based on the Steelers team doctor doing the spinal fusion surgery back in the spring, sure. Just, success-wise, you look at the Steelers. I still think the Ravens win that division, but Mike Tomlin is always in that 9-win mix, right? I think the Steelers have a pretty good chance to at least capture a wild card or win the AFC North. Yeah, the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, the Niners. Okay, those NFC teams have a fighting chance, varying differences, but a fighting chance to make the playoffs. But sure, on the field, success, Jalen Ramsey a bit banged up, Darius Slay dealing with some stuff, right? So, positional need, it seems there in Pittsburgh, but just with the connection to the team doctor, not a surprise at all. And hey, yeah, it is a practice squad deal, but much like Fabian Moreau, right? Like you can elevate a couple times, then add him to the 53-man roster. So that's more formality. I mean, the Steelers, the point is, hey, they think he can help them for the rest of the season. But I was told the Vikings visit went well late last week. There was, at least from what I can gather, genuine interest in adding him. But yeah, just it always was trending in the direction of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, to go back to Dwight McGloth, Judd's camp notes came up a little bit short this year on him because I saw in training camp, I saw him flash at times, and I thought, oh my God, he's taking a step. And I actually thought that he would be. I thought initially, I was wrong on this, that he would push Okudah for the nickel role. And then when Okudah got hurt, I thought, okay, it makes sense now to play him. Do we have any idea? Like, did the Vikings just always consider him a special teams guy? Because I thought he made enough plays in training camp to get a look-see, and he made the 53, but Moreau comes up from, well, heck, I think he went to training camp. I think Fabian went to training camp with the 49ers, got cut, signed back here after he was here last year to the practice squad. Do we have any idea what the thought process, what might have changed, or what we didn't, or what we thought we saw that clearly we didn't on Dwight?
Well, and he earned a few snaps earlier in the year. I mean, Jeff Okudah, speaking of sustained concussions
it's another one.
This year, we're talking plural. It's not singular, right? Going back to week one against Chicago. So McGloth Jr. has been given a little bit of a runway going back to earlier in the season in September. So I guess we can go back and analyze those snaps. I don't have a definitive answer for you, Judd. I will tell you, though, like I'm sitting in 394 this morning, trying to get onto 94. I started to daydream for a bit, thinking back to the Fillmore.
Lane at Dukes.
I know. Well, maybe. But anyway, I'm stuck in that long line, 394, to get onto 94 East, okay? And I started to daydream, going back to April. Fillmore Theater, draft party, right? Think about all the grandiose predictions we had. The Vikings leading the NFL in sacks. The Vikings would run the ball a lot more this year compared to the previous 3 under KOC, right? We had all these big takes, right? And, a lot of them have just failed miserably. So I'm with you. If you had asked me on August 25th, after being out there in Eagan for just about every training camp practice or most, that I thought Dwight McGloth Jr. popped enough that it was inevitable he was going to make a leap this year. But yeah, it hasn't happened. But I don't have a definitive answer as to why Fabian Moreau was brought in the first place, why he has trumped Dwight McGloth Jr. I'd like to go back and watch some of those snaps. I don't know if it's easy to pull up how many snaps he had week 2 against Atlanta or some other game in September. I'd be curious just to maybe go back and watch the all 22 of those snaps.
Okay, as we were kind of reminiscing about the things we were optimistic about here, one of them was Dallas Turner, and he's probably going to get a shot to play a little bit more this weekend. They unleashed him for quite a few snaps, but we're now into midway November of his second year, and of 124 qualified edge rushers in the NFL this year, 124 qualified edge rushers.
Do I need to cover my ears?
You may want to. If you're a member of the Dallas Turner fan club, he ranks 101st in pass rush win rate among those. Football. So 101st out of 124. He ranks 79th in pass rush grade from PFF's, at least their opinion. And then in terms of pass rush productivity, and that kind of includes like pressures and hits and hurries and kind of all the activity as a pass rusher, 54th out of 124 qualified edge rushers. Is he a jag, a bust, or is it still way too early to form a judgment 2 years into Dallas Turner?
Well, I mean, I can't go the bust route, right? But we can formulate enough opinions. There's enough of a sample size now, right? So we can't quite say it's way too early, right? But certainly the final chapters, plural, haven't been written yet. But yeah, I think we all expected more by this point. And so, yeah, I mean, with it trending not in the right direction on the Grenard front, yeah, I mean, this can be a big opportunity for Dallas Turner. Or even if Grenard can somehow fight through, maybe he doesn't play his normal 60-something snaps, right? Has played a ton of snaps. Leads Vikings, front whatever, 4-7 in snaps. Well, if Grenard can go, but is limited in some capacity, this is a big opportunity for Dallas Turner on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, those are alarming numbers, Phil.
Bust might be
I
too.
can't go bust. I'm sorry, Jed. I can't.
It might be too strong of a word, but I think
I mean, he's still incredibly young, right? I mean, was he the youngest defender?
Yeah, he and McCarthy are both young. He and McCarthy are both young.
Yeah. Now,
But
hey, that might be an easy out. I get it. That's a very easy out, right? Because, hey, there was a reason why he was a first-round pick to begin with. He was a stud for Saban at Alabama, right? So we thought by now, regardless of age, it would transfer to this level. It hasn't. But I can't go the bust route. I can't do that quite yet. Middle of year 2.
I think this is fair though. I think and look, I mean, part of our thing on JJ McCarthy is we just need to see him more. Like you can't declare the injuries are a huge concern, but you can't declare good, bad, or indifferent until we see him more. I think by the end of this season, though, that we'll have a very good idea of who Dallas Turner is going to be as a pro. And it doesn't mean he's a bad player. It doesn't mean he's terrible. It doesn't mean he's a bust, which is such a volatile word to use. But I also think he's going to have enough games and snaps, which he didn't have a year ago, to make at least a judgment on where he has trended, as opposed to, like, how long can you say, well, you got to wait another year. Now you got to wait. Quarterbacks can be sort of weird there. But, I mean, I do think that there has to be an acceptance that if we expected Dallas Turner to be this explosive pass-rushing demon who is going to terrorize quarterbacks, that when we're through 2025, if that has not happened, that's probably not who he's going to be in this league.
That's fair. And, hey, we're not that far away from a fifth-year option decision. Now, maybe it's an easy decision. Maybe first-round pick, pass rusher, you exercise the fifth-year option. But,
Yeah. Agreed.
we're not that far away from that point. Sure. Yeah, I mean, after this year, sure, if they need to bring in free agency a Jihad Ward type, guys like that, maybe it's multiple guys, sure. That's fair. Yeah, that we'll have a pretty good book on Dallas Turner, who he can be in 2026, 2027. Okay, is he in a position to be playing 50-something snaps? Or, hey, do we need to bring in outside help? So, yes, I will grant you that. I can't go with the B word. I can't do it.
I mean,
Not for a guy that young. I can't.
Yeah, I think
that's
fine. He's
I get what
young
the evidence
still.
suggests. I understand that. I do. I really
That's
do.
fine.
I just can't call the
You
guy
don't need to say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, I think it is fair to say that when they moved up and used capital to get him and JJ McCarthy in the same first round of
we
2024,
expected more by now.
that
Yeah.
by the middle of November of 2025, they would not be okay with the combined productivity of both of those players.
Fair. Yes.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could. How could you make any other case, right? I mean, yes, right. When you make those moves, by now, middle of year 2, yeah, absolutely expected more.
yeah.
And just one last thing that's completely reckless. Don't dismiss the fact that we still don't know definitively by any means who's going to be the defensive coordinator for Dallas Turner and this defense in 2026. I mean, Brian Flores, as far as I know, I've checked with folks that know, say he's in the last year of his contract.
I know. Well, and I've been trying. Trust me. I've
Yeah.
been trying because somebody told me many weeks ago, hey, you might want to check on the Vikings doing something in that regard. That maybe they did something with the contract, and I've gotten nowhere.
Yep.
He's changed representation multiple times for whatever that's worth, going back actually a couple years, and I get it, just everything going on off the field wise. But yeah, I haven't gotten anywhere. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried to check on the possibility that the Vikings have him under contractual control in 2026. I just haven't gotten anywhere. So, yeah, as far as we know, right, let's just go on that idea, that premise that this is the final year of his deal. I can't see him getting the Giants job. I mean, you look at different lists, you list 15 potential candidates. Okay, yeah, he's listed, but I can't imagine the Giants go that route. I'm not even quite sure they'll go a defensive route, unless it's, I guess, Bill Belichick. But I can't see Brian Flores getting the Giants job.
Yeah. Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department. Good stuff, Dukes. Enjoy your
boys.
football weekend, and we'll see you next week on
Did
the
you see
show.
the lead ref for Sunday? Brad Rogers.
Oh, what's his tendency?
Hasn't worked a Vikings game yet. Him and his crew. Doesn't throw flags. That crew doesn't throw flags. So
Okay.
now, hey, to me, a pre-snap penalty is a pre-snap penalty, right? Like,
Yeah, they got no choice.
those are clear as day. So they probably don't have much of a choice. But yeah, this crew working Sunday's game is not flag happy for whatever that's
Okay.
worth. Take that.
If you want to throw a little extra body weight on the sack, you might have a chance to get away with it during this game. We'll see. All right, Dukes.
All right,
Awesome
boys.
stuff,
Love you, Judd.
man.
Have a wonderful, wonderful birthday.
Thank you, Darren. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
All right, for Dukes, for birthday boy Judd, Dex, I'm Phil. Purple Daily. Come on, Vikings. Just want you to win a Super Bowl before we die.